Welcome, race fans, to another CRN episode here with the SMOKY Mountain Motorsports late model stock car tour. Tonight we will tackle the 1 mile track here at the Milwaukee Mile. It's 71 degrees outside. Track temperature is about 118 degrees. It's one of those tracks where it's 1 mile, but there is hardly to any to little banking here tonight. It's really going to make the drivers work these cars here, driving into corners, and with the playoffs on the horizon, or I should say the finals of the playoffs on the horizon, we're looking to have a wild one here tonight as practice is ending and the drivers are getting ready to take the field for qualifying. But let me break down the playoff situation here just a little bit. Right now it's Justin Coleman over Brandon Elvis, Christopher Smith, Mark Stewart, Larry Hensley Jr. in 5th, James Honeycutt is in 6th, Brandon Cooper, Clint Walker. They are your top 8. And right now, tonight is the night. Tonight is the cutoff. Whoever is below that 6th place will fall to the wayside for the season. So James Honeycutt on the bubble, only in front of only behind Larry Hensley Jr. by 16 points. So not a very, 17 points. So not a big cushion for Larry, but not a real big field here tonight. Only 11 cars. So these drivers really need to pay attention tonight and really be safe out there. Penalty points playing a big factor here. And I'm just doing a little bit of math, but like if we take the 5th place of Larry Hensley Jr. with the penalty points that he has, if he got 0, he would only be 16 points off the leader of Justin Coleman. So that's how big the points can sway the decision here tonight, making the next race of the season. So right now the cars are starting to get out on the track right now. Let me clear this stuff out of the way for you so you can all actually see who's on the track. But right now I got Brandon Elvis out there. We will bring up the tower here and show their best lap times there, so you can kind of see who's done what. So Brandon Elvis on top right now with a 31.512, and then Brandon Cooper out there with a 31.604 so far, and then Jonathan Carter in that P number 3 in that number 5 machine. Todd Lamphere out here again tonight. It's good to see the 26 back out on the track. Currently sitting in P number 5. James Honeycutt gets a good enough time for P number 4. Rob Hattenback's in 7th. Mike Stewart's in 8th. Christopher Smith back in 9th place. Austin Cooper back in 10th. Larry Hensley Jr. still waiting to take the track, along with Justin Coleman, to your points contenders for these next 3 races. And as these drivers are finishing up their qualifying here, let's see, I put up my decision state so I know how much time I got left. So they got about just over 2 minutes remaining, so they should be able to have plenty of time to get out there and get a couple laps in. As it looks like Justin Coleman is out to take the field. Here you see the 014 is back on the track. So but they got 2 minutes to get a time in here tonight. But I want to give a shout out to, obviously, to the fans out there. Barry, as always. I mean, I don't think you can ask for a more consistent viewer than Barry. I think he's on every single CRN broadcast, supports what we do, and we really appreciate it. So thank you, Barry, for being out there. Anybody else watching? Also, thank you. I appreciate you stopping by and joining us here tonight to watch these drivers. Partake in this little hobby that they got going on. A pretty good series here with these late model stock cars. Field's whittled down a little bit here towards the end, and that's usually a common thing throughout most leagues. Can't win everything, but a lot of times you get out there and you just want to have some good racing. So race around the same people all the time, and naturally you're going to start getting better. And it might not show instantly, racing around the same people, but when you take your new skill sets out to the official jungle out there, if you want to call that, you will find yourself placing a little bit better than if you were just sticking with officials altogether. But anyways, qualifying is almost over. We're going to then head into our 20 lap heat race that will set the or set the field in stone for the main event. But right now, it is Brandon Elvis on top of that 31.512, followed closely by Christopher Smith and with a 31.524, and then Brandon Cooper with a 31.532. So very, very small time frame. Dividing these drivers right now. But I believe there's my co-host. He's back from running daddy duties. And joining me up in the booth is Derek Sherman. So welcome to the booth, Derek. Take a minute, get yourself settled. Well, we're getting ready to go heat racing here.
Yeah, Jimmy, I'm excited to see what the Milwaukee Mile is going to have for us tonight. I mean, compared to my life, I'm going to guarantee it's going to be crazy tonight because, baseball, two little ones, plus the other one, we're all playing all at the same time. So you think that was crazy? This is going to be even more crazy. It's the last race, I believe, until the round of 6 to make the final 6. And the points are heavy. I believe 20 points separate from 3rd to 5th. And I believe
66 points separate from 1st to 5th. And then there's a lot of close races throughout. Like Larry Hansley Jr. only has the 17-point lead over Brandon Cooper. And then Clint Walker's not very far behind either. So he's only 13 points behind Brandon Cooper. So obviously those two drivers need to finish in front of Larry, as Larry is just outside of that cutoff. He's sitting in 5th place, and you got James Honeycutt really on that bubble. He needs to keep Brandon Cooper and Clint Walker behind him tonight. Let's keep it clean, as I was talking about earlier before you joined us, Derek, as brownie points have plagued some of these drivers out here, and they would find themselves in better positions for the championship. But we're getting ready to go heat racing here at about 30 more seconds before that pace car pulls off. Let's see these gentlemen, these drivers get out here and tackle this track here tonight. It's a wide track, but it's a flat track, and these cars, you really got to. I mean, you got to get them slowed down enough to get them rotating around in the corner, and we're going to see multi-lane racing more than likely. And, up early, you're going to find that inside line probably really dominant. But towards the end of the tire stint, you're going to maybe see outer line come to life. But we are getting ready to go green here very shortly as the pace car makes its way down to 3 and 4. And Brandon Elvis will lead them to see if he can get another heat race victory here tonight.
Can you go live, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, I can share my screen here.
Green flag.
We're going green here right now as Brandon Elvis and Christopher Smith head down the straightaway. Christopher Smith getting a slightly better jump on Brandon Elvis to just the nose out in front of him right now on that high side.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see where we got. Still watching the drivers come around. A lot of 2x2 driving. You see the 76 of James Honeycutt pushing a little bit hard there, coming out of turn 4, going wide up there right in front of the 5 of Jonathan Carter. Obviously, the 76 wanting to have a pretty good run, but you see the Mark Stewart in that 88 getting a little aggressive there with the 8 of Brandon Cooper. Brandon Cooper needs to have a good showing and for the race tonight, and it starts here with getting to a position where you can start off that feature race. But right now we are just on our laps here. I gotta change the ticker to show the actual laps and not the time. There we go, 18 laps ago. A lot of times we showed time when we were like watching like practice, or if we were doing some sort of road race, because a lot of the road races don't go by laps, they go by like a 45-minute race. That's just the different types of series that we can cover, we do cover here at CRN. But right now we're watching the late model stock cars tour here with the Smoky Mountain, and Brandon Elvis is out front, just barely over Christopher Smith, as Christopher Smith has been putting some good pressure on the back of that 54, trying to position his car to a spot where he can get around the 54 without giving him the bumper, to kind of like push him out of the way. And we've seen through the season how easy these late model stock car can really go around, and just the slightest touch. And the 80 and the 54 have put up some great races, and this heat race is no different than any of the other races we've covered so far.
Yeah, Jimmy, I mean, it's definitely been a awesome series so far this season. As we have a
caution out.
Yeah. It's all on you, man. It's all on you. You make the call here.
Like Todd Lampier and Austin Cooper getting into it. We'll take a ride back here. Maybe we'll change the camera here so we can kind of see what's happened here with that number 25. Or excuse me, 26. Oh, 26 checking up. That's the 12 got into the 5. Let's see what's going on with that, because that looked a lot worse from another angle here. Let's pause, and we'll change that camera real quick here, ladies and gentlemen. Get a better view of what's actually going on out there. We'll slow it down. You can see up in front the 5 getting the 5. So Jonathan Carter and the 014 of Justin Coleman going around the 14 of Christian Ruse going high to avoid everything. The 12 smacks dead into the side of the 5, setting him for a loop, and then the 26 rear into the 12 of Austin Cooper. But the 05 landing on his lid is going to have to take a toe on that one, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for Mr. Jonathan Carl. So, but I mean, it's the heat race. You got to figure out what you can and can't do, and obviously you can't do that, Jimmy. But so far, so good. Looks like it's going to get spread out. I bet you the tire wear is going to be pretty intense here tonight, considering it's an asphalt track. So kind of like your Michigan Auto Club type racetracks is going to just tear up those tires. It's a lot of speed to be carrying in those corners. So it's going to be a very strategy race as far as if you need tires and not abusing those tires. So, and as I see, the pit road is very tight and narrow coming into it. So,
yeah, if you haven't done a race here, Derek, I mean, that pit entry under green is very tight, and you do need to call it out, so you're not. You almost have to have it sorted out, and by turn, as you're coming through turn 4, and you're coming down in the inside, or even calling it out and before you get to 3, because that is just one of the tightest pit entries on the NASCAR circuit, and there's no margin for error, and you don't want to. You don't have room to try to get your car squared up to lock it up. So you dial that brake bias back to the rear of your car where you get heavy on the brakes. The rear end kind of comes around on you. You really need to readjust your brake bias forward again. That way you won't bring that rear around under heavy braking. But we have 13 laps remaining here. Pace car lights are still on. We should go off this time around. But right now it's Brandon Elvis over Christopher Smith, Brandon Cooper, Mark Stewart, James Honeycutt, Christian Ruse, Justin Coleman, Rob Hattenback, Larry Hendler Jr., Todd Lampier, and Austin Cooper. Now this is just the heat race, ladies and gentlemen, as we have 30 minutes to complete that, but then we're going to head for a small break, a warm-up as they transition to the 150 lap race here. So it's going to be a 150 mile race, and it's going to take a little bit of time, so hopefully these drivers can get the ball rolling, knock out some of these laps as they have a monster of a challenge ahead of them to complete here tonight in this flat track.
Yeah, Jimmy, I believe this is going to be the longest race of the season. 150 miles. I mean, it's not going to be easy. The beating and banging and the battling for position and, that final 6th spot for the playoffs. Depending on how much each position is going to be crucial to some of these drivers.
Oh, yeah, definitely got to be crucial, but the pace car is in, and Brandon is out on the loud pedal early. He's getting back out front there as Christopher Smith has enough of a good start to drop down to the bottom, but Mark Stewart going to use that outside, try to use it for his advantage and try to sneak up on the outside of Christopher Smith, but he is not. So, but the 8 of Brandon Cooper down to that inside. Look at the inside of Mark Stewart looking for P number 3, but as they get together again here, it sends Mark Stewart flying around, but it also looks like Rob Hattenbeck was involved, Christian Ruse. So we're gonna go ahead and get a break here, and we're gonna go back to the chopper. Why isn't this switching for me? SDK, stop doing your SDK things.
Well, once you get back to the replay, you should watch Rob Hattenbeck give a nice little assist to that the 88.
We're going to take an overshot view here of the situation that's happening as we are focused on them. As you can see them going down into the corner, locking up in front of you there, the 8, but it looks like who is that? Let's see, the 8. Brandon Cooper. You can see it's already happening right there as the 88 of Stewart is already going around. He's going to go up to the side. The 14, nowhere to go. The 76, nowhere to go. 99, nailing Mark Stewart. And I'll go ahead and as Derek called that out, we'll go ahead and ride along with the 88 of the 99 of Rob Hattenbeck. We'll jump to the front of the car, see what he sees, and we'll go across here. As you can see off to the top left, the 2 drivers getting loose and sideways, and because they're going into the corner, they're going to wash up the 14, Ruse, and nowhere to go. And then the 99, nowhere to go, gets into the 88. So,
you gotta keep on watching because he's gonna be the ultimate teammate right here and do a huge. Yeah, he does.
Nice. The car's stuck upside down, and typically you're in that position to basically tow. But you can see here, Rob Hattenbeck trying to assist his teammates to see if he can. Well, at least he's pushing him off the track. We'll see if he can. See if he. I guess it did not work to flip him over, but.
Well, keep on watching. Keep on watching.
Oh, there you go. The 99 completes his task, flipping over this teammate. So, that's some teamwork there. It didn't look like it was going to work there obviously till the end. But good job there by those teammates, and hopefully, look forward to seeing what they could do towards the end of the race. But we're getting ready to go back green here soon. Back on board Brandon Cooper here.
Green flag.
And we're back under green here. We're on board with Brandon Cooper back there and Pete, number 9. We have 7 laps remaining here in the heat race. It's been a little cluster, but it's what these drivers are going to have to deal with for the whole night. And you see that this is only a short little 20 lap mini sprint that just counts for starting position of the race. So them having issues here, we could see some big ones. Because this track is wide. You're trying to get as much speed. It's just like a false sense of security, I guess, because as soon as you start turning that car in at a certain speed, he wants to push out to the wall. So yeah, Brandon doing a good job right now, just following behind that 14 of Christian Roos. But right now, biggest move forward position-wise here is Larry Hensley is up five spots from starting, and Todd Lampere also up 5 spots from starting. So yeah, that could be a good sign for the finale here once we get there. But 5 laps remaining. Derek and Brandon Elvis out front over Christopher Smith and the gang.
I think Christopher Smith is thinking of going to the inside and try to take that position away. But Brandon Elvis has the advantage going in turn 3 and 4. He's going to have that. His teammate, the 014, Justin Coleman, is going to come roaring up and try to catch Christopher Smith. As you can see, he probably got an EOL and got some fresh tires. And I don't blame him, because tires will matter tonight. And we'll see if he's going to make a move on Christopher Smith and maybe potentially on his teammate Brandon Elvis. Or is he just going to ride? But you can see them battling out going into turn 3 and 4. I don't know, Jimmy. Right now, I think I think you gotta try something. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you gotta see what you can do towards the end of the race for the race now, so you gotta push the limits. So this doesn't only matter for your starting spot. So if it doesn't work out, no harm, no foul. But I mean, that's my not probably the most popular opinion, but you obviously don't want to give them the bump and run either, because if you're the leader coming to the end, you're going to get a little bit of payback at the end of the race. So
yeah, as you see, Christopher Smith holding, looking, he's using every bit of the track to try to get under the 54, and almost had it there right now. The 2 laps remaining, but Christopher Smith's in a kind of a unique spot. But I think if I'm the 014 of Justin Coleman, with only 2 laps remaining, I don't think I'm going to get around these 2 drivers. I'm going to kind of sit here, because E3 is just, it has that inside line, starting behind, the pole sitter. So not a bad place to be, and probably the position I would probably kind of back off, at a certain point, depending on, there's just no way that, unless the 80 and the 54 get together, that the 014 is going to get around these 2 in the last corner. And they just hold it nose to tail. Coming out of turn 4, it's going to be the 54 of Brandon Elvis to take P number 1.
I mean, it's the same thing, but different.
Yeah, P number 1 for the heat race. So he will be our pole sitter for the main event. So now for a quick break. You got a little 3.5 minute warm up. I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick. So I'm just gonna, I'll just go ahead and put it on. Hopefully, put it on one of the cars down here, and put it on exciting. Mute my mic real quick.
As you can see, Brandon Cooper's up first on the track to try to get some extra laps in. It's going to be interesting to see how everyone. So it's going to be fun watching these guys figure out what the best strategy is going to be tonight. Tires are going to matter. So, I mean, I believe there is a tire limit tonight. We have 3 sets of tires, so that's going to be huge. I believe the lap stages of the race are going to be it's only a 100 lap race.
Is it?
So that's what it says.
Info. Yep, I thought it was a 150 lap race, but you are correct. So gonna shorten this one up just a little bit tonight. So but 100 laps here remaining, and it might be a good thing here for the drivers to shorten up a little bit. I mean, it's a long time to go out there and try to settle this thing out for the final 6. But, you know, the track is warming up. The track's up to 120 degrees there.
That is insane. That's going to increase the tire temp tremendous. Going to make that tire nice and greasy. Not only that, it's going to make the racing line, the rubber that's getting put down, greasy too. So the car's going to get really, really loose. So it's going to be interesting to watch the track temp go up and down through if it goes up or if it comes down during the race. So something to probably pay attention to there, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to pay attention to, you know, the way these tires are wearing, and, you know, 120 degree track. You know, we have some experience from one of our counterparts that work up at the booth to always seem to set most of our races up with the scorching temperatures, making the cars a little difficult to drive. But we always manage, and you learn from it. Right now, yeah, that high temperature does put some extra stress on that right front tire, and I'm sure that right rear is going to be building it too. As you know, the drivers are going to be trying to get down the power. You seen, I took a couple laps here, Derek, before we actually got started. And, yeah, you're able to actually drive that car down on the apron. It's just so flat, but you just really have to be careful on getting that power down so you don't lose it coming out of the corner. And I can see some drivers, you know, really kind of sending it in, you know, not getting it or not getting it slowed in. But there is a lot of glide. Well, not these cars so much, but last race that I covered here, where they were in Xfinity cars, and excuse me, the next gen cars, and there's a lot of coasting for those vehicles. Here, they slow down pretty good, and you get that nose turned around, and you start eating back into the throttle. So wasn't quite able to match the speeds that a lot of these drivers are running. Probably about mid-pack lap times is what I was getting, but not a lot of practice here for me in these cars, so I just try to get out there and see what the drivers are going to experience. But warm-up is over. It is now time go racing.
Yeah, Jimmy,
to see who is going to make this final 6 tonight. Let's see. Let me. Guess I'll have to show where everybody's at. SDK's not playing nicely. Let's try this button. Technical difficulties with
SDK is kicking your butt.
Yeah, I don't know. It was working fine earlier. Now it just doesn't want to do anything here. I guess I could switch drivers. See if I can get the grid up here. Show the grid.
Show the grid.
Show the grid. Alright, fine. Don't show the grid. I'll just read it off because I got it on the list up here. But Brandon Elvis will be on top here tonight over Christopher Smith, Justin Coleman, James Honeycutt for your top 4. Brandon Cooper finished 5th. So Mark Stewart, Tyler Lamphere, Rob Hattenback, Christian Ruse, Austin Cooper, Larry Hensley Jr., and Jonathan Carter. The 5 car not starting here right at the moment, taking maybe his cut there, and also only 11 cars on the field right now. Nice little battle. You still have, you know, even with the smaller fields we've been having, there's a couple groups within that 12 that really do some serious battling. It just makes it very hard for somebody that does well week after week to kind of stretch out to any kind of point lead, but it also makes it a little difficult for you know, anyone to catch up. So but pace car is in as the car ducks down in the pit entry. We are under green. Maybe that is why. Maybe I'm not.
No, you're live. You're live.
I have no idea what's going on. Okay, we're going green here. I got things up on my screen that don't want to be up there.
It's not a checker flag. It's a green flag, everyone. I promise you. I don't think your SDK is updating correctly. But it proves that being the third man in the start is going to pay off for the good old Justin Coleman, as he has made quick work of Christopher Smith, and now he's trying to make quick work of his teammate of Brandon Elvis. Brandon Elvis is on the bottom, or on the top. Justin Coleman, the 014, is on the bottom. They're coming out of turn 2, going down the back stretch. Brandon Elvis is going to have the edge going into the corner. And Justin Coleman's going to fight back on the inside. And is it going to edge him out? Looks like he's going to barely. If he's clear, he's not going to self-clear him going into the down the back front stretch. He's going to take the lead going into the corner. Brandon Elvis is conceded and try to fall in before Christopher Smith can make an attempt to take that second spot. You know, Jimmy, that just proves, sometimes it's better to weigh your options in that heat race. So, as Justin Coleman. Oh.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Oh, Justin Coleman is now your new leader, coming to lap number 4. Brandon Elvis, Christopher Smith, Mark Stewart, Brandon Cooper, James Honeycutt, Rob Hattenback, Todd Lamphere, Christian Roos, and Larry Hensley Jr. is your top 10.
That's the drivers out there doing what they need to do. That was a call. This is something that kind of, you start thinking. I do drive every now and then, and you just have those, thoughts in your head, and like where, you want to start. And if you can control like your starting position, you don't want to start on the outside. Well, then don't finish in an even number spot. So, but the 014 was able to use that to his advantage. He has gotten around that 54 of Brandon Elvis, and we've seen him walk away last week, and again, Justin Coleman walking away from his teammate as Brandon Elvis is holding up the 80 of Christopher Smith, just slightly followed by Mark Stewart and Brandon Cooper back there. So Brandon Cooper needing a good run here tonight. James Honeycutt needing a really good run here tonight as well. Rob Hattenback's having a decent run. Todd Lamphere making the move on the 99 currently as we go down into turn number 1 and 2. And then Larry Hensley Jr. back there, up 2 spots from the back. So plenty of time to kind of get up there. We're on. We have less than 2 hours. We have, let me change that thing again. We are on lap 6 of 100.
Yeah, Jimmy. Right now, it's all about getting the car, not abusing yourself right now, working your way through traffic, trying not to cause any cautions, because if you cause a caution and get sent to the end of the line, you are deducted 5 points for the penalty points. So that can play into a huge role here tonight. So as Christopher Smith is battling with Brandon Elvis for that number 2 spot, it looks like he's going to be able to clear Brandon Elvis going into turn 1. It almost looks like Brandon Elvis is like, you know what, guys, you're driving a little too hard for my liking, and I'm going to let you go. Let you burn your stuff up, and I'll see you in about 15 laps.
We know Brandon Elvis is quick. Okay? That's not an unknown fact. The 54 is usually quick week in and week out, and this could just be a little strategy, knowing that the tires are limited. Now playing a little bit of a long game. As long as everybody keeps running these green laps like this, you could see that number 54 climb back up through the field. But the one thing he doesn't want to do is get too far behind. So he does have to manage his tires and manage his pace and keep himself in a position where he can come back up to the field and get back up to the front if he's on that mission to save them tires. But you can see the 8 of Brandon Cooper making the pass on the 54, and Mark Stewart in that 88 that was we seen on his hood not too long ago, looking to get around that 54 as well.
Yeah, as you can tell, we're 10 laps in, and we've already lost probably a tenth to tenth and a half off the start of the race. So as far as lap times has contributed, it's going to be that hot temperature is going to eat tires, and it's just going to be exciting to see who's able to manage their tires and still be quick. I can be quick, but I can't manage my tires and be quick. Be quick too at the end of the run. So it's either I'm turtle slow or in super fast, or super fast and turtle slow. So, and then I don't like flat tracks. So this is more your style, Jimmy.
This is more my style with a road car where you can go left and right, and a high downforce car. These cars that float around like this are really tricky for me, and I don't mind it too bad. I mean, like I said, I can get some decent times, but I do have issues with the ovals and keeping those times down as the race prolongs, especially long green flag runs. You don't get a chance to cool them tires down. We're on a hotter track here, and obviously I can show the weather here on the right hand side. Bring it up, and you can see that the track at the very bottom there, above your Cash Customs logos, man. It's 120 degrees. It's partly cloudy. I don't think it's going to rain. As iRacing doesn't have any rain model tires for these cars. So not something that I believe Cash is set up either to red flag these guys and park them in the pit for 5-10 minutes or whatever it would be, and then they'd have to wait for the track to dry and everything. So, but either the case, right now you see Mark Stewart and trying to get around Brandon Elster again back here for Pete number 4. It is Justin Coleman out front right now, just over Christopher Smith and Brandon Cooper. And then just they're starting to break away from P number 4. Let's go back with Todd Lapierre. He was unable to make it and ended up falling out of contention for the championship here. He's having some pretty decent runs, but right now he's having a pretty good run, Derek, as he is up 3 spots from the start in that blue and number 26 race car. Trying to just have a good race here tonight, and a good showing. Right in front of him there is the man on the bubble. He is the driver that is in that 6th position, only 16 points in front of Larry Hensley Jr. And Larry Hensley Jr. back there, and P number 10 just kind of biding his time. I think he just playing a little bit safe back there, keeping that out of them, making sure he doesn't get any of them penalty points. I figured that it's early on in this race, so right now, long as I keep these drivers, within reach, that I can have a good finish here. I won't take any penalty points and try to secure that one of 6 positions going into the final 2 races. As I believe we have 6 this week. It's the 6th this week, and then I think we dropped to 3. 3. So, dropped to 3 before the last race. So it's gonna be a good one as the points race is kind of close here. Just like the racing going on here for Pete number 2 between Christopher Smith and Brandon Cooper.
I think Brandon Cooper wants to, or Justin Coleman and Christopher Smith. Christopher Smith caught the leader. So
yeah, it's I got that SDK wrong. Anyway, Justin Coleman, Christopher Smith, they're not battling side by side, and it's behoove of Christopher Smith to just kind of, as long as the 014 isn't holding them up, just keep, nose and tail, stretch this thing out. There's plenty of laps remaining. There's still 81 laps remaining here at the Milwaukee Mile, and that is plenty of time in this car. But it's still roughly 40-ish minutes that we're looking at if these drivers go green the whole time.
Yeah, Jimmy, I mean, they're doing a great job right now. No one's really pushing the issue, giving everyone a nice room to battle. As you can see, Brandon Elvis is starting to look to take Brandon Cooper down, or is that Brandon? Yes, Brandon Cooper. Because I think he saved his tires and played the tire management game, so he's going to start pulling. Brandon Elvis is 2/10 quicker than Brandon Cooper on that last lap, so that does make a difference. He's running. Brandon Elvis is running the same lap times as the leaders, and we're now getting to the point to where we're running probably 2 to 3 tenths off the start of the race, and it's going to be the long game. Who can manage your tires, Jimmy? I really do wholeheartedly to believe, but that second half of that race is always going to be interesting because the intensity of trying to get every spot you can. So, especially after the stage break, you're going to get a caution and get a free set of tires and able to get tires, and everyone's going to be bunched up and they know how it's going right now. So everyone should know what to expect coming out of the race there, Jimmy.
Yeah, and maybe that's why some of these drivers are kind of taking it easy back here. Back here with Larry Hunter Jr. and Christian Ruse. Obviously the 99 Rob Hatton back. He's already been in, helping flip over his teammate. So trying not to get involved or wreck of that 99 anymore. That needs to happen. So just kind of knowing there's
caution. The cars.
There it is. Brandon.
Tell me about your car if you can.
Looks like Brandon Cooper. The 8 needing a good finish here. Oh, and the 54 tags the bumper of the 8, I think. Just gonna send the 8 around.
Yeah. See, Jimmy, this is I'm not gonna say it, but Brandon Elvis has done this once before, and he's not.
Well, it's not necessarily. It could have been netcode, so trying to get another look here, but definitely a touch from the 54 on that left rear bumper, and we know how easy these cars go around, but the 8 able to kind of control it with the flat spin, Derek. No banking to have to deal with or anything like that. Keeps it slow, kind of under control as best as possible to let the other cars go by and run these things around here. But back live, it looks like drivers they're taking advantage of a pit stop. But the 33 of Larry Hensley Jr. and the 14 of Christian Ruse staying out over everybody. But it looks like James Honeycutt maybe taking a little bit short pit, maybe not taking tires, maybe just taking fuel. Maybe 2 tires, trying to change it up just a little bit. It's going to find himself coming out behind Larry Hensley Jr. and Christian Ruse. Then Austin Cooper, and then Justin Coleman, that was leading the race, is all the way back in P number 5.
Jimmy, I would like to say, I do like what Larry and Christian are doing on staying out. You got a limited number of cautions. There's no point. You're going to probably get a stage break. There's no point to coming in and now. I mean, you can save those tires for later in the race. And also, you can see how well those tires are going to handle against fresh tires. Christian Ruse and Larry have been in the back. Maybe they haven't been really abusing their tires. And so, I mean, it's going to be a good test. Well, Christian Ruse went in on this last pit lane. So
he went in for fuel.
He went in. So...
So, Larry Hensley currently your leader, and going to lead the field around here a few more times. And at number 33, Goodrich Plus, the black version. The Earnhardt throwback, and then you have in the white paint job there on James Honeycutt, the Goodwrench plus again the throwbacks to Earnhardt. Just keep going. Yeah, just keep going. Years and years and years after somebody like that has left the racing world, but great job on these two drivers right now, kind of putting them in position, to kind of see.
Heads up. This is stage 1.
This is stage 1. So just heard it there from Larry Handler Jr. is kind of keyed him up and giving us a heads up that this is stage 1. So it's going to be interesting now, knowing that Larry's out there on tires, basically not coming in. So not quite sure when they will have stage 2, but he'll definitely have an opportunity to get caught back up. But Larry Handley up 11 positions, and he will take the field around to green. Well, let's see if the pit car goes in this time.
Green flag.
Green flag is out, and Larry Handley Jr. is on the loud pedal, and he will work his way down into P number 1 with the 12 of Austin Cooper on his back bumper. The 12 blinks out just a little bit, but is able to keep it behind the 33 for P and number 2. As you can see through the field, back just a little bit. Looks like the 80 of Christopher Smith going to that low side within fresher tires, trying to make things work, trying to get by James Honeycutt, and he does. But James Honeycutt starting to fall victim with his pit strategy, and also being stuck out there on that high side. It doesn't make it easy, that's for sure. The 12 of Austin Cooper trying to make it work here. Having a pretty good showing so far, but that 80 of Christopher Smith being very reluctant to get around him, finds the move there on the 12, and will take away P number 2, followed by the 88 of Mark Stewart.
I mean, he's going to enjoy this. Larry's enjoying this battling back. Give him a little bit of a jump start on the everything. So,
I mean that's what Larry wants. He wants them drivers back there, and he's out to like a little bit of a lead. 0.5 seconds. That's not a huge lead, but it's a lead. And the drivers are going to have to burn up their tires and heat them up, and maybe put them in positions where they are just pushing tires that much harder than he is, and will end up basically plateauing. There'd be no advantage from those other drivers because the way they have to use them up. But the 5 coming out of Jonathan Carter right there, right in front on the low side, you see that pit exit can be a bit tricky as they get together just a little bit. The 3 wide going down the front stretch.
and Justin Coleman's stuck on the inside. Jonathan Carter's just going to give it up and let him in. Justin Coleman battling the 8 car of Brandon Cooper. Justin Coleman's going to go in the middle between Brandon Cooper and Austin Cooper. He's going to fall back behind Brandon Cooper. Tom Lanfear is going to take advantage and follow Justin Coleman through the field. So they're on the high side coming out of turn number 4, coming to the start finish. It's going to be interesting to see how well that top line is going to work for Justin Coleman going in turn 1. As Brandon Cooper is going to kind of slow him down. Oh, they touched him. Oh, no.
12 goes around here on lap 33. Austin Cooper, green flag is still out, so, but Stewart has left the green here as he has that number 12 going, so Cole will just need to collect that car and see where he can get back up front. It is now Christopher Smith with the lead over Mark Stewart. Man, I got tongue-tied, and I don't know, maybe I need more sleep. But then Larry has a junior there in P number 3. And then a nice little gap there, about a second and a half back to that 8 of Brandon Cooper. with that pretty good showing so far, trying to do what he needs to do to make sure he makes that final cut. Justin Coleman back in P number 5, Tyler Pierce in 6th. 7th is Rob Hattenbeck. James Honeycutt back in P number 8. Christian Ruse in 9th. Brandon Elvis in the back of the field, kind of chilling right now, letting the track and the car come back to him, and I'm sure we'll see that 54 up front before the end of this one. And then the 12 of Austin Cooper, after having that slide to the corner, back there in the back of the pack. Jonathan Carter, I think he is past the park for the evening, but it's all the number 80 right now, Derek, as he is trying to close that gap to the points lead over the 014 and the 54 of Brandon Elvis.
You know, it would be a nice finishing spot for Christopher Smith, and he would gain a massive amount if they finish right now. But unfortunately, we have 64 laps to go, Jimmy, so anything still can happen. But a man can hope and dream, but it's just a little early for Christopher Smith to be thinking about that, as he's leading right now over everyone. He was about a 10th quicker than everyone on that last lap, except for Brandon Elvis. Brandon Elvis just ran his fastest lap of the race of a 31.74. So, yeah, I think he's just playing his tire game, as we're considerably off the pace. So I don't know if they took tires, because the times are roughly about the same as what they were right before we had that caution there, Jimmy. So I think everyone just went in for fuel only and maybe right side tires.
And nobody won. Nobody. I mean, it's always. I mean, if you can stand the lead lap, and this is kind of more of a long play game. You know, with them having only limited sets of tires, you know, they're not going to come in every time the caution comes up. And they're definitely not, they want to not be that driver that, you know, you go in and you take tires, and you come out your fast, and then a caution comes out, and then people take tires, and now your tires are older than everybody else's. So everybody always likes to have that spare. I know a lot of drivers, they end up usually having a spare set of tires in the pits. On the races, they have limited tire sets because they don't want to have themselves in a situation where it's green, and then everybody around them goes in to get new tires, and well, they don't have any, so they're going to be sitting ducks. Especially on some tracks are a lot worse than others. You know, Talladega and Daytona tires really don't mean too much. I mean, you might get a little more grip or something like that on a few of the laps, but not a huge situation when it comes to tires for those tracks. But tracks like here, Milwaukee Mile, big difference.
Yes,
you see them turning laps right around the 32-second time frame, and they're qualifying in the 31s. So half a second to a second off pace as of right now. But we're on lap 41 of 100. Christopher Smith's out front over Mark Stewart and Larry Hanser, Jimmy. Yeah,
Jimmy, I was just gonna say that you know, right now when we were talking about penalty points, James Honeycutt is only 7 points ahead of Brandon Cooper for that last and final spot for the playoffs for the next round. And just saying, if he causes an accident and get those 5 bonus points, that means that gap automatically closes to 2. And then it's where they finish. So that makes a huge difference there, Jimmy, on being patient and whatnot. Now, Larry has a little bit of give. He's 17 points or 10 points ahead of 17 points ahead of James, so he has a little room to give, but not much. You don't want to leave it up to chance. Right now he's up 9 spots, so he's probably the biggest mover of the race. So there is some bonus points. He did lead a couple laps. That's a couple bonus points. And so, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to put yourself in that position there, Jimmy. And so far, Larry's doing what he can to stay above that cut line. But he also has a colossal uphill climb on to catch Mark Stewart and Christopher Smith. I mean, he's 16 points behind Mark Stewart, and Mark Stewart's right in front of him, so he's losing battles. He needs to cut into these points so that way next week he can have a chance to go for that final 3. Yeah, and then same with Christopher Smith. Christopher Smith's only 20 points ahead of Larry, so I mean anything's possible. And then but I will say James Honeycutt, if he makes it, whoever makes that 6th and final spot is going to have a huge uphill climb next week to try to make the final 3. So it'll be interesting to see how the points work out next week. But Larry's obviously doing pretty good, staying up with the leaders, holding that 3rd position. But don't look back, Larry. Justin Coleman's coming for you, buddy. And Justin Coleman's super fast right now. He's running quicker than the front 3. As Brandon Cooper and Justin Coleman are running at almost identical lap times right now. Mark Stewart is running 32 flat. Larry Hensley at 31.8. So Larry's not too much slower than the 2 guys behind him or the leader. So, I mean, that just tells you how much speed Justin Coleman has right now. But Christopher Smith has a huge advantage over second and a half on Mark Stewart and 2 seconds on Larry and Justin Coleman. So.
And I'll bring up the intervals for everybody to see the gap being the distance between the leader and that car, and then you can see the interval is the gap between Mark Stewart and Larry Hensley Jr. is 0.4, and you can see it in the orange, basically that they're pretty close proximity. Yellow is when they reach over that half a second mark. And then below, and then it goes, I don't think it ever goes red, but it'll change, it'll pass there when they're side by side as the graphical change on the screen. But good racing back there. Let's go back with this side by side battle between the 014 and the 33, trying to battle it out as we go on the exit of turn 4, heading down the front stretch.
The real live duck-meek.
The 1-4 just kind of getting that edge over the 33. Maybe the 33 just back off just a little bit, so he doesn't have to be pinched down to the bottom. Because we've seen, I think it was last week. No, not last. I don't know what week it was, but Larry tends to not sit on the very, very bottom of the racetrack as far as hugging the apron like some of these other drivers do, because he tends to stay out a little bit farther, work his way down to the apex at a different angle. But he's been working for him so far this season, and right now he currently is sitting in P number 4. In the competition of this field. Small but mighty, as we've had some great battles throughout the season so far. But next week we are off to the great North Wilkesboro as the caution comes out, and that looks like Austin Cooper.
End of stage number 2. That's what the caution was for.
Oh, okay. Well, at the same time, the 12 of Austin Cooper went sideways there right at the pit road exit. So perfect timing for the 12. But I'm sure we're going to see a lot of drivers going in here looking to go into the pits with 48 laps remaining. And who's going to make the... I'm pretty sure everybody's going to take 4 tires there. I don't think with this many laps left, basically, I don't know if this is going to be their last freebie pit stop, if you want to call it that. But I don't know. I think I would make sure I come in, I take tires, I take fuel, and I got hopefully enough to last to the end. And I think Larry Hensley Jr. did a pretty good job, not making that last pit stop and being able to kind of maintain that position. You can see he was the only driver that stayed out for the 50 plus laps. So everybody else coming in there right around lap 24, 25 for those drivers. But half the race is over. Is this the call? Is this the last and final stop? Will some of the other drivers come in at lap 75 and take that last set of tires and get back out there? We will see as things go around now. Obviously, with Larry coming in, or not coming in, he's going to have to take a little more fuel on board. And he might lose a spot or two, but no, this pit crew does a pretty good job of getting those tires changed. And the fuel in this vehicle, as the 33 comes out right there in front of the 80, Christopher Smith.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Coleman, Mark Stewart, all came out heavily in front, so they probably took 2 tires. So it's going to be interesting to see, Jimmy, on what everyone's was going to be.
Ooh.
So, what?
Here goes the 14 Christian Reeves coming down the pit lane. So I guess getting out there, getting a lap left, and then coming in the pits.
Yeah, it's not that bad. No.
Yeah, by the time we're done here, we'll have 44 laps remaining. So not much longer, about another 20 minutes in the vehicle for a full green flag run here tonight. Again, everybody watching, thank you for stopping by here at CRN. If you haven't, please hit that hit the subscribe. It don't cost you anything. It gives the drivers the viewership that they deserve, and all the hard work that's done here at CRN. We really appreciate it. So again, thank you for stopping by and watching. And even if you're stopping by later after we're not live, you can still hit that subscribe, share with your friends, family, and the content and the good racing that these drivers here at Smoky Mountain Motorsports, these late model stock car tour, are doing here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. But we're back to green. As I was trying to see what the 14 was doing. Going to be a little bit behind, about a half a straightaway away, but Justin Coleman is now out front with Brandon Elvis down there in that P. It's like in that underside of the 88 of Mark Stewart, and it's a drag race down the backstretch for the 54 and the 88. Two totally different lines, obviously going through 3 and 4. It looks like the 54 is going to win that one there.
Yeah, Jimmy, it's going to be, we watched those first 2 stages. If no one took tires that first stage, once you hit that plateau of tires, just drop off of tire wear, the lap times didn't really change all that much. I think, some ran 32 seconds, but I mean, for the most part, everyone stayed 31.9s. So not too bad, as we're going to see everyone coming down. This track is still 120 degrees, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Right now, Justin Coleman just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 31.5. So you have speed in there. You got to go 50 or 40 some laps. I don't know. I think my mindset is going to be a little bit different than most. So it's hard to say. It's still early. They're going to do what they want. I'm just nervous over here because I want to see a good race. As Mark Stewart just hit the fastest lap of the race with a 31.443 in that P number 2 spot. Maybe get a little bit of drafting help. I don't know how well these cars draft, so I'm not well versed, but they're starting to spread out. As you can see, Brandon Elvis in that number 2 spot, just keeping those leaders in sight, so he doesn't have to make that big climb back, trying to fight his way back to the front. But I will say Justin Coleman has been super fast tonight, and it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Now Brandon Elvis has Christopher Smith on his rear bumper. See, that's going to be another battle. I mean, that's a tight points battle going on for 2nd and 3rd spot there, Jimmy.
Yeah, and we can't stress enough to the drivers that are on the bubble. Obviously, again, another just kind of snapshot to James Honeycutt on the bubble. He's currently sitting in 6th place, 17 points behind Larry Hansen Jr. Then Brandon Cooper and Brandon Cooper and Clint Walker are on the chopping block, and obviously Clint Walker not here tonight to be able to try to move into that 6th spot. So Brandon Cooper looking to do what he can to possibly move Honeycutt off of that spot and move himself into a podium finish, or a good finish here tonight. And right now he's got 3 positions on that number 76.
Yeah, Jimmy, he's doing everything he can to put him in the spot to make the next round. Austin Cooper is obviously, unfortunately, not in the race. He's just out here to try to win a race. I mean, even though you're not in the points battle, you can still come out and be one of those points busters where you might be able to give up buffer zone for someone like his brother, Brandon. Brandon needs Austin to finish in front of James so he can have that a little bit more points to catch up. So, those guys still have important roles in this race, as Brandon Cooper is obviously doing what he needs to do, put him in that spot, as he's trying to run down the top 3 of Justin Coleman, Mark Stewart, and Brandon Elvis, and Christopher Smith. Sorry, top 4. I'm dyslexic. I can't read numbers.
Well, sometimes depending on the camera angle, they might be upside down. But they're just having a good time out here tonight, to be honest, Eric. I mean, there's 37 laps, and coming from that heat race into the feature, the main event, and seeing the kind of the incidents, kind of go through that 20 lap qualifier, or position finder, or whatever you want to call it. It almost looked like this was going to be, could have been, the makings of Smoky Mountain Massacre with some of the accidents and the cautions. But these drivers have cleaned up their driving here for the main event. And right now, Justin Coleman out front over Mark Stewart, Brandon Elvis, Christopher Smith, Brandon Cooper for your top 5, then Todd Lampier, Larry Hansen Jr., James Honeycutt, Rob Hattenbeck, Austin Cooper, and then Christian Cruz back there in that 11th spot. So 11 cars out of the 12 is still out on the track. It's a good one here so far.
Yeah, Todd Lampier unfortunately missing last week, so I don't think it'd be a miracle, I guess, but they have him marked out due to the fact that he's 57 points behind Brandon Cooper. So I don't think you can make that many points up in one race.
You can definitely lose that many in a race. That's showing up.
You can lose a lot more than that. Unfortunately, and you don't get drop races in the playoffs. So
Todd Lampier, not even if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think he has many. Yeah, he doesn't even have many penalty points. I think one of the more clean drivers on the track, or hasn't been the source of the caution. I should say. Yeah, but having a good run, pretty good run out here too. In that sixth spot in that number 26 machine. Another bad company racing machine. So I know sharing notes a little bit maybe.
I know that Todd Lampier was ahead of Larry Hensley Jr. by probably 10 points or so, but I mean that just shows you how much just showing up can do for you sometimes. It's unfortunate that he missed last week and took him out of contention, but he's still back here this week trying to get that top 5, maybe even a podium if he plays his cards right. Rob Hattenbeck just chilling in the back, trying to run those nice and consistent lap times, and probably taking it easy. Doesn't seem like he's pushing too hard as you go back to Mark Stewart and Justin Coleman. They're going to be battle. Mark Stewart looks in the battle with Justin Coleman for that lead spot, as Christopher Smith has closed the gap to Brandon Elvis. But I think they're just all Brandon Elvis and Christopher Smith are trying to count these laps down as we're coming up with 30 to go, Jimmy. For a mile track, this race is going super quick tonight. A lot of action-packed, a lot of nail-biting. It's only going to get more intense from here, though, as Mark Stewart's looking like he's starting to get a little bit of a run on Justin Coleman. And this is when the tires, who manage their tires the best, is going to start to play in. We're 20 laps in, 30 laps to go. We're almost halfway into this run, as I just seen on my little ticker on my side, track temp went up 1 degree. That might not sound like a lot, but it's going to make that track eat more tire and make it a little bit more greasy there, Jimmy. So, as Brandon, you look like sound like you're about to go to sleep, Jimmy.
Not just.
I know you work a long day, so you get up super early.
Sometimes these later hours do creep up on you, but we're good here. We got 71 laps here of 100, and Justin Coleman, leading this thing here over a hungry number 88 of Mark Stewart, and we've definitely seen these drivers battle here before, and 88 trying to find his way or see if there's a weak spot in the 014's line, trying to get the groove. Obviously these drivers. I don't think once they've been out, the bump on back of somebody to get rid of them on purpose. So just hard racing by these 4 drivers. And some of the others that are not quite up here at the front tonight. But you can see Brandon Elvis going down to that extreme low side apron, try to look for that P number 3 over Christopher Smith.
As Brandon Elvis and Christopher Smith are starting to fall back behind Mark Stewart and Justin Coleman, as Justin Coleman looks like he's about to start putting a little distance on him and Mark Stewart, and Christopher Smith is going to start trying to battle with Brandon Elvis for that P number 3. Jimmy, it looks like Christopher Smith was the one chilling, saving some tire. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes. I'm horrible at saving tires, so I don't know what saving tires looks like. It takes everything in me to keep up. So I will say Brandon Cooper is down 2 spots from the start of the race, but still in the top 5, which is a good spot, as he is probably, I want to go all in, as if he finishes right where he is right now, I think he's going to be in to the race, but don't hold me to it.
And he has to make waves and make sure he's over James Honeycutt to take away that 6th and final position. So they're so close right now. I really don't know who it's going to be, and I probably won't know. I mean, lost my train of thought.
You won't know until because of the points.
Yes. The points need to be done, and Cash is, I'm not sure where he's at at the moment. Maybe he's down and just kind of playing Marshall tonight. I don't know, but right now you got 11 cars still out on the track battling for a championship. Obviously Coleman out front over Mark Stewart and Brandon Elvis. Christopher Smith not going anywhere, as well as he is sitting there in P number 4. Back to P number 5 is that Brandon Cooper. Tyler Lampier having a good showing here tonight after missing last week. Not too bad. He's in 6th. Larry Hansen Jr. in 7th. Trying to not be too far behind his competitors that are either right behind him or right in front of him, and hopefully can squeak that number 33 into the next round of playoffs next week. And then James Honeycutt is back there in 8th. Rob Hattenback is on in 9th. Austin Cooper in 12th and 10th. And then Christian Drew is back there in P number 11. You can see how everybody's starting to kind of spread out just a little bit, but most of the battle is right up front with the top 4.
I will say, Jimmy, I just watched the last lap. 2 laps, and the leaders, top 4, were all within 1/10 of each other, and exactly what the last 2 laps, that last lap, they were all in 1/10 of each other. So closer than probably 1/1000ths of a second, I think. I may be wrong. If I am, let me know in the comment section. I'll be happily.
Brandon Elvis get a little loose. Brandon Elvis getting loose there as Christopher Smith will take the pass there for Pete, number 3, but 54 gonna go ahead and try to rebuttal, but after that little bit of slide, can he make it stick? The tires warm up.
You can see he had a little shake coming out of the corner, so
quite a bit. He took the power down there.
Tire sliding her in.
Yeah, so now the 80 and the 54 battling, not quite side by side, because the 80 was able to just edge out the 54 that lap for Pete, number 3, but the 54 on that low side, can he make it work as they run down the backstretch?
Ooh, buddy! Brandon Elvis made that pass back for Pete, number 3. Short-lived podium spot for Christopher Smith as Brandon Elvis is taking back the spot, Jimmy. That's interesting. Just to say, I mean, the track got hotter and the times went down. I don't understand it. They're only 3/10 off what they were running at the start of the race, and maybe they were what was it called? I can't remember the name.
Plateau? Tires plateau?
No, I don't know, man. It's laying back, calling it what it is. But James Honeycutt is trying to make a pass on Rob Hattenback, so for a spot to hopefully to cut down any points gained by Brandon Cooper tonight, as he is now in 8th, battling for the A spot with Rob Hattenback. Rob Hattenback has made the crossover work for him going into turn 3 and 4. He's going to maintain that spot coming down the front stretch for sure, as we have 17 laps to go, Jimmy. And Christopher Smith is doing everything he can to try to get past Brandon Elvis. But
yeah, this battle here between Brandon Elvis, Christopher Smith back for that P and number 3 position is setting them back just ever so slightly back to your cars that are running 1 and 2 of Justin Coleman and Mark Stewart. So Brandon Cooper and Christopher Smith having a great battle as they're been going side by side here and there, trying to keep it clean, not trying to get into each other at all. Been running really close quarters with each other, so doing a really good job in every aspect. Just not being able to. They're using their cars up, so they're not going to have much to give if they can get around one another and then make their way to the front and run for the win here tonight. As we are coming down to 15 to go, as the 80 and nudges out the 54 there for this lap, move into P number 3. But again, we still have our leader, Justin Coleman, out front over a Mark Stewart. And then obviously Brandon Elvis and Christopher Smith battling back and forth. Brandon Cooper sitting there in P number 5. Todd Lamphere with a great showing here in P number 6. Larry Henson Jr. in 7th. Very respectable spot at the moment. Like I said, a lot of these cars or some of these drivers have, everybody's skill level is a little bit different, and some people love flat tracks, some people like high bank tracks, some people like super speedways, some people like road tracks. So just Larry out here doing a pretty good job and sitting in the field. So maybe not the best place to be, but not the worst either. I mean, at least not in the back of the pack here tonight. But Rob Hattenback's in 8th, James Honeycutt's in 9th, Austin Cooper's in 10th. Christian Ruse is in 11th, and then Jonathan Carter not being able to finish here tonight. Hoping to see you at the next track, John, as you get that 5 around the track pretty much every week at a pretty decent clip. So, but yep, the gap between the leader and second place is starting to dwindle, as he only has 4/10 of a lead over Mark Stewart.
And Mark Stewart ran a 10th faster last lap, so they just ran pretty much identical lap times that lap, past lap, and everyone's kind of within a tenth of each other, so the leaders ran a 6, the Brandon Elvis ran a 7, and so did Christopher Smith. Brandon Cooper and Tom Layfield ran a 8, Larry ran a 9, and so on and so forth behind them. So I mean, no one's really making any big gains. I don't think
no big move right now. They're trying to get this race over. We got 11 laps to go right now, so getting ready to get in that final 10% of the race. Will we see any moves? If you have the tires, I would move, put that foot down, hit them apexes and exits.
Yeah, Jimmy, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this folds out. I believe.
Chris, I see Chris in the chat. Are you sandbagging? I mean, it's one way to sandbag by not even being out there to track. I'll show up next race, I promise. But no,
Chris is really sandbagging by not even showing up tonight.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. So, but right now, just a Coleman trying not to sandbag. There's not time to play around. Will Mark Stewart be able to get the run on the 014 and put that 88 machine on for a win here late in the season? Not many races remaining. Like I said, only 2. But we will be here same time to provide that coverage here live on CRN. I guess, again, if you haven't liked and subscribed here to CRN, please do. Help us make our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're just short by, I think it's just under 60 people, I think, last time I checked. Because it does fluctuate a little bit up and down every week, but doing a pretty good job, and it's all thanks to all the fans out there that watch all the drivers and all the series across CRN. But right now we're covering Justin Coleman out front over Mike Stewart, Christopher Smith, Brandon Elvis, and Pete number 4. Brandon Cooper is in Pete number 5. Todd Lamphere is in 6th. And the junior riding around in 7th place. 8th place, Rob Hatton back. 9th is James Honeycutt. Austin Cooper in Pete number 10. Ooh, and the 12 is Ocon around with 7 laps to go. No caution as of yet. Marshall will keep it green as he makes his way around, but he gets it going right as the leaders go on by. You can see it there, the 014 making his way around. The 12 will go a lap down. The 88 makes his way around. Christopher Smith and Brandon Elvis, as they were battling for position, coming up on this as well. So they'll go to the nose here, and you can see, okay, they got a little bit of time yet.
They got a big gap between them and the front 2, so but as you can see, Austin Cooper is blinking right there in front of him behind Mark Stewart. So Jimmy, that's going to be an interesting Brandon Elvis. That was almost disastrous for someone, because I seen him sideways. I seen a car roll by. I don't know who it was, but it was almost disaster with 7 laps to go. But now we're at 5 laps to go. Brandon Elvis is going to try to do everything he can get to get back onto that podium spot, as Christopher Smith has taken that spot from him. Oh, Brandon Elvis, that rear end was sliding. Woo, buddy. That looked like he was dirt tracking on the asphalt. That just shows you how hot that asphalt is and how hot those tires might be. So,
his current track's at 121 here with it's at outside 71 degrees. That would be in Fahrenheit for all the fans out there. I switched everything to the American way, I guess, the ignorant way. Sometimes the meter stuff's a lot easier to figure out because it's pretty simple.
Well, if it was Celsius, it would be a really hot track there, Jimmy.
No kidding, right? I don't know if the tires will last 5 laps. But we have 3 laps to go. Just a Coleman out front over Mark Stewart. And these drivers have put on a pretty great show here tonight with this very long green flag run here in the later part of the race. The only thing that's really kind of happened is the 12 doing a little bit of self-spin. But being able to collect it, the stewards up in the tower doing their job, making sure this thing goes green. And they put on a great show right to the end. But back up front, Justin Coleman, huge lead over Mark Stewart, out to a 1.8 second lead. So there you get to see Mark Stewart in P number 2. But the battle here, the interesting thing that's happening on the track right now is between the 80 and the 54. Coming up at the back end of the 12. Lap cars coming into play here will it affect how these two drivers, the outcome, but the 12 is going to slide to the outside, the 80 and the 54 are going to move down to the inside as they head down through 3 and 4, heading down the front stretch. White flags in the air, taken already by Justin Coleman and Mark Stewart, but we're going to stay back here for the race for P number 3 and see if Brandon Elvis has anything for the 80 to take that position away and to come on up here to the podium.
Yeah, Jimmy, I mean, it's going to be a big thing. Brandon Elvis got, I don't know if he got caught, it was in the heat race or not, but I don't think so. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very marginal gain on Christopher Smith on the play. It's going to be a huge points gain for Mark Stewart for finishing P2 on those 2 guys in front of him. So as the race is over and Justin Coleman won the race, Mark Stewart finished in P2, Christopher Smith in P3, Brandon Owens P4, P5 is Brandon Cooper, P6 is Todd Lamphere, 7th is Larry Hensley Jr., 8th is Rob Hattenback, James Honeycutt in 9th, 10, P number 10 is Christian Ruse, 11th will be Austin Cooper, 12th would be Jonathan Carter.
Yeah, so like you said, winner here tonight of the Milwaukee Mile 100 laps is that number 014 Chestnut Hill vehicle here, finishing in first, up 6 spots too. So always our biggest mover too. So being mid-pack at the start wasn't a huge factor for the 014, and he's been tearing it up, not only here doing some burnouts at the end of the race, but in the second half of the season, as he's gotten quite a few wins over his teammate back there with Brandon Elvis. Then obviously followed there by that 88 of Mark Stewart's been on fire too, having some pretty good finishes as well. Christopher Smith been pretty consistent sitting in there and finishing in 3rd, like we said. I'll go ahead and pull up the race results. Let me drop this ticker out of the way for you all. Show the results here for tonight's race. Come on. There we go. So 12 car field here tonight. Justin Coleman walks away the winner over Mark Stewart, Christopher Smith, Brandon Elvis, Brandon Cooper, Todd Lamphere, Larry Hensley Jr., Rob Hattenback, James Honeycutt, Christian Ruse, Austin Cooper, and Jonathan Carter. You know, who will be the top 6? We will find out here shortly, I'm sure. And if not, we'll have to cover that when we start next week's race as we head off to North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, Jimmy, that's going to be an interesting race for next week. That's high, not a high bank, but a bigger bank than tonight. Shorter race, a shorter track. Very interesting. You can run the high lane, low lane, middle to low lane to block the passes. Try to make it very difficult for the guys on the outside. It's going to be interesting. And you have high 6 next week. 6 guys are going to go for that top 3 spots, and it's going to be a madhouse.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one. You know, whether we have 9 people out here, 6 people out here, Well, it might be a little boring if we just want to see one guy running hot laps, but I don't think that will be the case. I believe all the drivers will be out there next week. We'll get a good 12 plus drivers racing for this championship for the season. But we're standing by for our top 3 to head on up to the booth here, the infield, or up to the the top 3. Yep, the top 3 channel. Got Justin Coleman up there waiting. He's excited, getting that win up there. Looking for Christopher Smith, Mark Stewart around their way up there. Christopher Smith moves his way up into the booth, so we'll go ahead and get my co-host there, grab him, and give him a good old interview here tonight.
Who's that?
Christopher Smith.
Oh, let's go, Christopher. Let me find you. All right, Christopher Smith is coming down. Christopher, you got Derek and Jimmy in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
How about that race? You've been running fourth on most of the race, and then with like 10 laps to go, you figured out how to get around Mr. Brandon Elvis. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man, that was a fun race. Sorry about Brandon there. Like, that one time I tapped him, I didn't mean to hit him, and it just got him out of the groove. Bang doors, man. I mean, try to keep it clean. It's a fun race. Made a pit call, took 4 tires there. I felt like I should have just took 2. Overall, that was fun.
Do you think the tires really had an effect? I know in the first half, 3/4 of the race, the times were falling a little bit, but towards the end of the race, on 50-lap old tires, I mean, you guys were still running some pretty quick lap times.
Yeah, that and clean air. I felt like if you get out front and stay out front, you had a good shot of winning it. Yeah, it was just didn't expect it to run that good, honestly.
Yeah, I think last week you said this is not one of your favorite tracks. You said you struggled here before, so well, you got a podium finish out of it, man. I mean, you gotta be excited.
Oh yeah,
like a win.
Kind of something like that.
I mean, you made a little progress on P number 2, so
yeah.
But congratulations on your P number 3. I'll give you a chance to give a shout out or special thanks to anyone out there.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks, my wife let me do this. Bad Company Racing, Coleman Designs, Chastain Law Firm. Say hey to my dad if he's watching, and thank y'all for broadcasting.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. Well, everyone, that's your P number 3, number 80, Christopher Smith finishing 3rd tonight in that Cadillac, I'm sorry, Corvette. Sorry. So, same thing. But congratulations, Christopher. I'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family, man.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, like you said, that was the third place of Christopher Smith as we now move on to our second place finisher, Mark Stewart. Mark Stewart, this is Jimmy and Derek up at the booth. You copy, buddy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, you're a competitor every week, man. You got some tough competition up there, but it looks like from this finish, it looks like you should be moving on to that final 6. I think you're either in 3rd or 4th place. I would my guess by looking at the points. I haven't seen anything kind of finished off official yet, but looks like you're going to be moving into the next round. You've been having some really good runs. You have North Wilkesboro and Martinsville coming up, and after the great showing here tonight, what are your chances on maybe walking away the champion or the overall champion for this series?
I hope all right. I mean, with Justin and Elvis and Chris, it's always tough. They're always really good, but I didn't expect to do this good here. I mean, I'm not very good at this track, and Chris actually helped me out with the line a little bit, and it worked out, I guess. I mean, we took 2 tires that last break, and I guess it helped out a little bit.
Yeah, how was it for your tire wear here tonight? As this track is one of the flatter ones that you guys had to kind of tackle so far this season.
Yeah, tire wear was definitely definitely a lot. Those last 2 laps there, Radio Man was telling me that I'm gonna need rubber soon. So it was definitely a kind of try to manage what you got, but at the same time, you don't want to lose track position because track position on a track like this is definitely important.
Yeah, it was a hot one out there, and me and Derek were talking about a little bit how the hot track has a big effect on tire wear, and that just kind of confirms that when that's virtual spotters saying kind of messing with you, is letting you know that your tire wear is down, and it's something to think about, because I believe that's the 40% mark. So but either way, you walk away tonight finishing in second place in that number 88 Bad Company machine. So from CRN, I want to say congratulations and give you a little bit of time for any shouts that you may have here tonight.
Just thank you guys for hosting and broadcasting as usual. It's awesome. Just the BCR guys, Ty, Chris, Good Race, Mike Coleman, and Alice and all them, and hopefully we can have some good luck next week too. Thank you guys.
Yeah, no problem. Again, we'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Yes, sir.
Again, that is your second place finisher in the 88 Bad Company Racing Machine, Mark Stewart.
Hold down, Justin Coleman. Justin Coleman, you're Jimmy and Derek in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? You had a very fast piece tonight. Led probably the most laps. If you started third, made your way early to the lead. Tell us about your night, man. I mean, it's pretty uneventful, leading most of the laps.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good race for me, I guess. To be honest, those are the first laps I've ever had on the track. I bought the track before I logged in tonight, so qualifying was my first time seeing the track.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it's a big long track for sure. Jesus.
I mean, if you needed a race for beginners, look, I mean, this is one that needs it, as you kind of,
right.
you're kind of slowly creeping away from everybody, winning these races, and these points as this series is coming down, and it's just looking more and more to your odds there. But I'll let Derek show. But yeah, you've been doing one heck of a job, man.
I appreciate it. I guess it's a good time to show up in the playoffs.
That's right, man. I mean, you're always contending for those wins, and it's just something always had to happen towards the end to take you out of contention. But you finally put everything back together in the playoffs, winning these races, dominating this race. How do you feel about going to North Wilkesboro next week? I don't know. I don't remember your race from there earlier in the season, but how do you feel about it?
I like North Wilkesboro. It's a tough track, but with the setups that Cash uses, like I said, these setups just kind of play into my favor. I love a freer race car, so I like my shots there. There's some tough guys in this series, so it'll be a tough race, but fun nonetheless. Looking forward to it.
Well, Justin, I'll let you give out any special thanks or shout outs to anyone you have there watching out tonight.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. First, and thank y'all. Y'all do a great job with the broadcast. Enjoy watching it. Thank Cash for putting on a great league. Thank my teammate Brandon Elvis. I think he got a solid top 5 today, so it was good for him. Thank all my sponsors: R&R Boutique, Elvis Performance and Fabrication, Parker Brothers Window Tinting, BH Homes Construction, Gibbs Brothers Construction, and Shockeye Racing Performance. And I guess I can't say I don't like flat tracks no more, because I've been doing pretty decent at it.
This is new forte.
I guess I'm a flat track guy now. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all.
No problem, man. Well, everyone, that's your winner, Justin Coleman in the 014. Congratulations, and I'll let you go hang out with, celebrate with your team and fans and friends and family. Sorry, tongue tied there.
Yeah,
Right.
I let him use English today.
I'm sorry.
Congratulations. We'll talk to you later, Justin.
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
You too, bud.
Later.
That was your winner here, the 014 Justin Coleman. Derek, the 014 has been on fire. He's been the driver to kind of chase down, and it was like mid-season. It was his teammate, the 54, and obviously 54, Brandon Elvis, still having good runs, but just kind of fading back at the wrong time, or just having great battles with another driver, which will kind of it prevents you from getting into position to win. You burn up them tires, and with as hot as this track was tonight, you really didn't have much time to be battling with somebody side by side without losing some time to the drivers in front. That's why the battle between those Christopher Smith and Brandon Elvis was a few seconds behind Justin Coleman and Mark Stewart. But either way, great finish by all the drivers here. Everybody that attended. It's always good to see the drivers come out, continue to run in the series and run it to the end. 2 more races to go, as we talked about, and hit those up again real quick. But it is going to be next week. Will be at North Wilkesboro, and the finale April 3rd. I can promise you that I will be here, but it is my birthday. So in what capacity, we will find out. Could be an interesting for all the fans out there. We'll just put that out there. But we're gonna have a good time either way, because a finale on my birthday. I mean, what other way to celebrate? And besides watching some great racing here at the Smoky Mountain Raceway here, and it's going to be at Martinsville. So I'm looking forward to that one and the next week as well. But Derek, do you have any final thoughts for the fans out there?
No. Well, I'm excited for next week, Jimmy. I'll say that. Next week's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how Brandon Elvis is going to rebound next week. Maybe tonight just wasn't his favorite track. Maybe he didn't like the setup. Or he, whatever the case may be. Next week he could come back and lay down some heaters and be able to hold off everyone to win the race next week, and try to make up some ground on his teammate there. But it's going to be interesting. We're going to find out who's going to make the playoffs. I can probably tell you, I give you my personal opinion. It would be Justin Coleman, Brandon Elvis, Christopher Smith, Mark Stewart, Larry Hensley Jr., and Brandon Cooper. That's my predictions. I'm not no fortune teller, but Brandon Cooper had a solid finish of P5 tonight. James Honeycutt, P number 9. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be enough to keep him in the points. So we'll find out next week. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be real close. So hopefully we'll find out the nail biter next week. And looking forward to a good race. I always like running at North Wilkesboro. I think Christopher said it's a tough track, or Justin said tough track, fun track. And it's going to turn 4 is a little tough sometimes. So definitely going to probably be a little bit more caution, maybe because of the significance of one race versus 2. So it's just going to be fun to see how everyone races and strategizes next week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these final drivers start strategizing to the end to see them and congratulate someone on an overall great season, and somebody's going to walk away a championship here with a championship here in a few short weeks. But I think, Derek, I don't have anything else to say, and except the big thank you to all the fans out there, and all 80s that are still sticking around. Like I said, if you haven't smashed that thumbs up, please don't smash your own thumb. You can hit the little virtual one up on the screen and give us that like and share with your friends and family. And like I said, we're going to be here at the same time next week, and we're going to continue as we talked to Chris. He would like us to kind of cover the next series that's coming up after these late model stock cars. So we'll get the details in the works and get a schedule out there, and we'll continue to cover Smoky Mountain here on CRN. But until next week, for me and Derek, see you at the track.
Oh!